Okay, today we're going to be multiplying fractions. Now, one thing you want to remember when multiplying fractions is it is easier to multiply when mixed numbers are written in improper form. So we'll look for that today. Now, when multiplying fractions, there are 4 steps. The first thing you will want to do is change any mixed numbers into improper form. The second thing you want to do is cross cancel, because if you cross cancel well, then you don't have to simplify later. And then step 3, you're just going to multiply across for both the numerators and the denominators. And then number 4, you do need to check that your solution is simplified. So if you'll need to, pause the video and write the notes. Then come back when you're ready to watch the examples. Okay, let's look at example number 1. In example number 1, I have 3/5 times 4/9. So the first thing I'm going to look at is question number 1. Do I have any mixed numbers? I do not have any mixed numbers, so I am actually going to go to step 2. Step 2 asks me, can you cross cancel? In other words, are there factors that you can take out from the numbers that are across from each other? So if I take a look at 5 and 4, there is no common factor there, so I cannot cross cancel for 5 and 4. But if I look at 3 and 9, I know that 3 and 9 have a common factor of 3. I know that 3 goes into 3 one time, so I'm going to cross cancel and make a 1. I know that 3 goes into 9 3 times, so I'm going to cancel and make a 3. So now I have to just go to step 3. Step 3 tells me to multiply across for both the numerators and the denominators. So 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 3 is 15. Now, since I did my cross cancel, if I look at number 4 and number 4 asks me if the solution is simplified, I know that it is because I already did it over here. My answer is 4/15. Let's go ahead and take a look at example number 2. Example number 2 has mixed numbers. A mixed number, remember, is a fraction and a whole number together. So the first thing I need to do is change any mixed numbers into improper form by, I need to multiply the whole number and by the denominator. I'm going to multiply the whole number by the denominator. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Then I need to add it to the numerator. So I have 4 plus 1 is 5. And then I keep the denominator. Remember, I always keep my denominators. Now I'll need to do this for my second mixed number. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. And then I keep my denominator. So now I'm going to move to step 2. Step 2 asks me, can you cross cancel? So I take a look at 2 and 14. 2 and 14 do have a common factor. They have a common factor of 2. 2 goes into 2 one time, so I'm going to cross cancel. 2 goes into 14 7 times. Now let's look at 5 and 3. 5 and 3 do not have a common factor, so I can't cross cancel there. So now, step 3, multiply across for both the numerators and the denominators. 5 times 7 is 35. 1 times 3 is 3. Now, the cool thing about 8th grade is we actually get to leave it right here. Now, you may be wondering, did I actually do step 4? Did I check to see if it was simplified? Well, I know that 3 cannot go into 35, but if you ever needed to check, you go to 3. And you glance down and notice 3 does not go into 35. See, it goes into 33, it goes into 36, but it does not go into 35. So this is already simplified. And in 8th grade, we like improper fractions, so you get to leave it just like that. Okay, let's look at example number 3. Example number 3 also has mixed numbers, and remember in step 1, we need to change any mixed numbers into improper form. Remember, we're going to multiply the whole number by the denominator and add it to the numerator. So I am going to go 4 times 5 is 20. And then I'm going to add 2. So I have 22 over 5. Remember, I always keep my denominator. I'm going to do the same thing. 2 times 4 is 8. plus 2 is 10. And keep my denominator of 4. Now step 2 asks me if I can cross cancel. Well, I know that 5 and 10 have a common factor of 5. 5 goes into 5 one time. 5 goes into 10 two times. Oh, 4 and 22, they both have a factor of 2 in them. So I can cross cancel there too. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 22 11 times. So now I have 11 times 2 is 22. 1 times 2 is 2. Now, I did say it's okay to leave things in improper form, but if you'll notice, 22 divided by 2 is really 11. And if we can simplify it like that, we will. It's a whole number, so we want to write it as a whole number. And that is multiplying fractions.